So, this is gonna be a really raw video. I'm honestly didn't set up a mic, just didn't set up anything for like any looms. This video is not gonna have any fancy edits. Um, I kind of realized quickly that the audience I want to attract isn't people who need fancy edits and attention grabbing and subway surfers on the bottom and all that stuff to attract their attention. And I realized, like, starting early on in the content game, that it's good to stay consistent, but you have to be careful with what kind of audience you develop, especially since I'm looking at content as a long-term game. I know that it's going to take time to develop and build it up, but anyways, kind of went off track there. Basically, the whole kind of structure of this video is kind of the mindset change once you start making money online, or not necessarily making money online, but specifically, but really any goal and any kind of obstacle that you've always been told that it's impossible, or can't be done without this or without this or without that, and kind of just like explain my story of how I got here. So basically, my first like entrepreneur journey wasn't too long ago. It was about a year and a half ago, maybe. It was last summer actually. And basically what I was doing is I was scrolling on TikTok or Instagram. I can't remember which one, TikTok or Instagram. And all of a sudden I came upon this guy named Josh Lester. And basically what he does is he owns a business with his brother, and they knock door to door and they do window cleaning. Since then, they've kind of expanded. I think they do everything outdoors, so they set up lights during the Christmas season, whatever. And I saw his video, and he knocked on the door, and he showed like his stats. And he was like, 45 minutes, 15 doors knocked, 5 answered, 2 closed, $250 per house. And I was like really intrigued, because I always thought to myself, and driving by, and I live in a pretty good area in terms of my neighborhood. I'm by no means, I don't come from the hood, or I'm not poor. My family's average income, maybe upper average income. So I live in a good neighborhood, and I always saw these houses, and I never thought anything of them. But ever since I watched that video, and he knocked on 10, 15 houses, and 5 of them opened up, and he offered them his window cleaning services, I started to look at them with a dollar value. Okay, and that's when everything and my whole mindset kind of shifted to where nobody ever told me this is possible. To make money, people told me you have to work a job, you have to work for somebody else. And that was the first kind of jump into entrepreneurship. That summer, I actually purchased the materials, and it was like $1,000 or something. I took the risk, and I remember I was right before I was gonna buy them, I told my dad, I was like, I'm gonna start cleaning people's windows for them, and I'm gonna knock door to door until I get a couple jobs per day and clean that, and then I want to stack up a decent bit of money for the summer. And he kind of laughed, and he laughed at it, and so did we had like a family friend over, and they both were like, okay, I mean, it's a good idea, but why would they answer why would they answer the door for you? Why would they even pay you? And like, just due to the fact that I don't know about you guys, but whenever somebody tells me something, especially as kind of like an upper figure, as more of a command, it just makes me want to do it even more, right? Like when I'm just sitting in my room and thinking about, oh, I want to walk my dog. And then my dad tells me, oh, go walk the dog. It just makes me not want to walk the dog ever again. I don't know what it is. It's this mindset kind of thing. And they would tell me like, oh, I don't think you can do it. So I was like, you know what? Just to prove it to them. I don't even have the materials yet, right? I placed it on order. I had to go pick it up the next day. I knocked, 5 doors later, I got a deal. So I had a $250 deal in after 5 houses. It took me like 2 minutes. I walked like literally to my next door neighbors. They didn't even know me, the house that I closed. And I had a deal already with no supplies, no t-shirt, no business card, nothing. And that's how I started it. I got some buddies to work for me. I made posts online for jobs. And yeah, I did pretty well. I made like 6,000-7,000 that summer. Started off with my buddies, and then I kind of split off, did it on my own, did my own hiring. I don't know, it just turned out that way. But basically, that was that's how I entered the entrepreneur space. Then from there, the season ended. So window cleaning in Canada. I'm in Toronto, Canada. So it only really works in the spring, not even the summer. I was doing it in the summer, and I did that. So it was pretty cool. I didn't even know that at the time. I didn't know it was the season for window cleaning. And as soon as I finished that, I jumped right into the online space. So I started my own agency for SMMA, digital marketing. I was targeting med spas for a while. And that's when I started making like my serious income, doing like 4 or 5K a month. I mean, if you want to call it serious, which, it definitely wasn't once I hit those numbers. It didn't feel at all like it would if I hit 5K per month. And then from there, I entered the AI space beginning of January, and almost instantly jumped to 35K, 40K a month. And like even now, it just doesn't feel like much. Once you hit it, there's a lot more on the back end, right? Expenses that we have to pay, things you have to invest in, right? If you want to scale your business long term, you don't make 35K and that's it. You have to keep hitting 35K, keep hitting it, and then you hit 50K, and then keep hit 50K, keep hitting 50K, and then hit 70K, and then so on and so forth. So it's a lot more complex and more in depth than it seems. And I think like that's one of the biggest breakthroughs, because I reached in less than 6 months, I've scaled my business to double a doctor's yearly salary at 19 years old, with in less than 6 months. So the possibilities are really endless, and it's another thing. My uncle always tells me, he says, don't lose your value of the dollar. And that's like one thing I realized and I found was something that was starting to happen, was after making inside of the business $15,000 purchases. When I purchased something like, for example, this new fishing rod that I just bought for $200, I was like, this is pennies. I don't want to sound cocky, but I genuinely thought that $200 purchase was nothing. And it's a good thing and a bad thing, because obviously I'm fortunate enough and successful enough. I don't want to say I'm successful because I'm not even there yet. I'm not even close in my eyes. I found out once you hit those milestones that you set, and really quite easily, it kind of opens your mind up into, I don't want to sound like a crazy person, but really thinking anything is possible. I remember seeing a video where a guy was talking about how a couple of years ago, I don't know exactly when, but it was scientifically thought and believed that it's impossible for the human body to run a mile under 4 minutes. And basically somebody eventually did it, and all of a sudden, a couple months after that, even years after that, tons of athletes broke that 4 minute barrier. Beforehand, not a single person broke it. So it's kind of the same in business and your mind, and really just any goal in general. That once you break through something that somebody's told you it's impossible, it's like everything is different. Everything's changed, right? I'm no longer aiming for mediocre or just 100K a month or just 200K a month. I'm aiming for 2 million a month, 3 million a month, because I know there's people out there who are doing 10 times that, and I know it's not impossible, right? I did what most will never do at 19 years old, without a degree, without going through university. And like I said, I'm not trying to flaunt, I'm not trying to flex. I'm just genuinely telling people that it's, from my side, or at least what I'm seeing, it's not that hard. You have to really just put in the work, go at it, stay consistent. That's all it is, just like with anything, just like with the gym, just like, doing homework, with learning, with reading books, right? The more you read, the more knowledge you observe, the more you can pass on, the more you enhance your vocabulary, everything. It's like that with everything. And the main goal, obviously, if you haven't realized yet, is kind of like push through what you think is impossible, and then everything will be different. That was a little rant video, kind of, cringe, motivational, whatever you want to call it. But hope you enjoyed it.